So, right? Functions. What are functions? Now tell me. You've been talking about this a lot of times. This particular word to describe functions. So functions. I'll write it here. The class. Exactly, reusable code. So yeah, programming has two things, as I believe in. It's about, the first thing is scalability. How well we can scale a thing, how well we can scale a website or web application, and the next big thing is the reusable code. If we should always keep this in mind. A website all about scalability and reusability. So today we talk about reusability. Like how can we reuse a piece of code? That is what a function. So essentially a function is a block of code, can be used again and again as many times as it is required. So that is all about function. Like function is a block of code which can be used again and again as many times as it is required. Again, function, as the name itself says, is an important piece of code. Piece of code, okay, which can work. What do we say? An intelligent piece of code. Let me say, like intelligent. Exactly, that's where I'm coming to. So intelligent in the means like I can control it. Actually, I can control what kind of output I want. I can control what kind of input I can give it to. Okay, function is an intelligent, an important piece of code which can be controlled by the programmer. So there is so much of feasibility in a function, like so when I say intelligent, okay, what does it really has? An intelligent means function can take arguments and can return a final value or the output of a function. Let's say, as you just told, okay, argument is input and the final value is an output. Okay, so based upon this taking arguments and returning a value, a function is again divided into 4 types, which is, it's pretty simple. Okay, I can passing on arguments and getting a return value. Return value is totally optional. Okay, so even before that, I'll say, yeah, let's take this. So that means I can pass no arguments, I can pass no value, but still a function is useful. I can pass arguments and may not have a return value, but still function is useful. So like such, function is divided into 4 types based on passing arguments and getting return value. Right, so let's see what exactly these types which I'm talking about. So the first type, let me just draw a table here, so that makes our life easier. Maybe these guys have an option for table. No, actually. So I'll use this rectangle here, and I'll use this. So yeah, so this is just a table. I'm just putting up a table. All right, just give me a second. Fine. Okay. So yeah, here it comes. Let this be type. What is it? I don't know what's happening here. Okay, type arguments and return value. Okay, so here type 1, let's say type 1 has no arguments. Let me just put use some shapes here. This has nothing. What do we use here? Well, yeah, so no arguments and no return value. So there's a type of function which neither takes an argument, which neither returns a value. Then there is type 2, wherein I can pass arguments and still may not get a return value. I cannot pass an argument and I can get a return value. I pass an argument and I get a return value. I know this is so creepy because I'm not using any pen device, so that's the reason, you know, that's showing up over there. So yeah, so those are the 4 types of functions, like, you know, arguments based on the arguments and return values, which we'll be seeing very soon, the syntax for each and every type. Okay, now this is based on the arguments and return value. Now functions are further not divided exactly. Yeah, that there is a 2-step process for every function. Okay, there's a 2-step process. The first is, as I told, like, you know, it's a piece of code. First I gotta write the piece of code. It's called declaration of a function or definition of a function. Okay, the first one is function declaring or function defining. I have to define this particular piece of code, what exactly it does. So I have to write that piece of code inside a function. Now the second process is, this is the first process, and the second step is I have to call that function to use it. It's not like, you know, I just write it and it gets used. No, I gotta call it to use it. So these are the 2 important processes, 2 important steps in, you know, using the function. Like first I had to define the function and then I got to call that function. Okay, so this is all about functions. I hope you know about all these steps, but yeah, so that is it. Like if you got any question here, I can just clear it out.